All right, so continuing on, we're going to talk about solving business and consumer problems that involve percents. So a lot of times, we did a little bit of this yesterday when we were finding like the amount of a tip that you could leave. But we're also going to be talking about like sales taxes when you can use percentages, and figuring out like, again, how much, maybe if you're saving a portion of your paycheck, how much are you being paid? Or maybe even if you know how much you're saving and how much you're getting paid every week, how much of that paycheck you're saving. And then we're also going to talk about commission, and then we'll get into interest and like using a simple interest formula. So first, let's take a look at some of these examples. This first one says that a 5% sales tax is levied on an order of building supplies that cost $127.32. What is the amount of sales tax to be paid, and then what's going to be our total bill? So if you're trying to find the like percent, like how much you're going to have to pay in tax, that would be like your portion. And we take the 5% as a decimal, which would be 0.05, so you divide that by 100. And we take that times the bill, which would be $127.32. So if we do this, we get 6.366. So how would you guys round that for dollars? $6 and how many cents? Let's do, would it be 36 or 37? 37 cents. So $6.37 is what we're paying in sales tax. Then they also ask what's the total bill. So we're going to take that $127.32 and we're going to add $6.37 to it. Yep. So that would be our total cost. All right. Now you could do the same thing like with discount. If you knew how much something was discounted by, you could take the cost times the discount, but instead of adding it, we would actually subtract it from our cost. And you might have a problem too that combines those two ideas where they want you to find the discount and then find the tax on your discount to figure out how much you would actually pay overall. All right, taking a look at number 2. If the rate of Social Security tax is 6.2% of the first 110,100 of earnings in a given year, how much Social Security tax is withheld on a weekly paycheck of $425 if the total earnings for the year is less than that 110,100? You're confused? So we're trying to figure out how much is taken out of every paycheck. So every weekly paycheck is $425. 6.2% is taken out every week. How would we write 6.2% as a decimal? 0.062. We take that times our weekly earnings, 425. So type that in a calculator. Tell me how much is withheld every week. Good. So $26.35 is withheld every week. That problem would be similar to if out of your paycheck you have like insurance taken out, or if you have like some places, companies will offer you like a life insurance policy through the company, and so much can be taken out of your paycheck. It's like that idea that they're taking out an amount of money to get put somewhere else for you to be used at a later time. Like if you needed to go to the hospital, your health insurance covers that. If you retire, you get that money in that life insurance, or if you pass away, your beneficiary gets that kind of money. So that's kind of where that's coming from, where those would be used. Commission. Do you guys know what commission means? Like if someone earns commission? Yeah, so if someone is a salesperson, usually this happens a lot in like if a car dealer, like someone who actually sells cars on the floor, they would be making a commission on however many cars they sell for the month. people that like do online businesses. So those are called like multi-level marketing businesses. So like if you know anybody that sells Scentsy products, Tastefully Simple, Pampered Chef, like some of those things, those salespeople, when they sell something, they make a commission. That's how they make money, when they sell a product. So commission is a percent of your sales. Depending on the situation or the company, your commission could be different. Some people can make 20, 25% on every sale, or even more, or even less than that. So for this example, we've got an automotive parts salesperson earns a salary of $325 per week and 8% commission on all sales that are over $2,500 per week. If sales for a week were $4,875, what is the salesperson's total pay for that week? So we need to first figure out how much did they make in commission on their sales of this $4,875. So we're going to take our 8%, what would that be as a decimal? 0.08 times their sales, $4,875. And that comes out to be 190 if I round. What did you get? Did you get 190? Oh, maybe I have a typo here then. 390? Then, that's how much they made in just commission. If they already are making $325 a week, and then we add that onto the commission, so we take $325 plus $390, how much did they make that week? Good. All right, last thing I want to talk about in this section is interest. So interest would be the amount charged for borrowing or lending money, or the amount of money earned when money is saved or invested. So in the future, when you guys go and buy a car or you buy a house for the first time, you'll have an interest rate on that loan. When you go and get a loan, you'll have to pay a certain portion back, and that just helps like the company, the bank that you went through. They make money off of that so that they can then continue to loan more money out to other people that also want to buy cars and houses. You also can earn interest if you guys start putting money in like investment accounts. So if you start saving money in different types of accounts out there, if you have money put away in different types of stocks or whatever, you can earn interest on it just sitting there, not doing anything. Now, if you add money to something like that and the interest rate is good, then you can actually earn more money by putting more money into that account. But kind of the thing there is that you have to let it sit for so long. Usually if you try to pull money too early from like an investment account, they do charge you a good amount of money to make it not so worth it to do that, because they want you to keep it in there to try to earn more money for you. So the amount of interest is the portion. The total amount borrowed or invested is called the percent of interest. Or that would be like your base. And, oh, I wrote that in the wrong spot. Hang on. Erase that. That's the principal. And then the last one, the last blank here is that percent of interest. So the principal would be like the amount that you put in or the amount that you're borrowing from the bank for a loan. The amount of interest would be how much they're charging you or how much you're making. So like a 5% interest rate could either mean that you're being charged 5% interest, so you have to pay that back, or you're earning 5% interest. And then that percent of interest is the rate. So however much they're deciding to do, like, 5%, 6%, whatever. Now, simple interest, there's a formula for that. It's I equals PRT. I stands for the interest, P is for your principal, R is for your rate, T is for time. And time is usually done in years. So we think about how much of a year period are we talking about. And this is used for one time period. So this is not the same thing as like compounding interest, where if you add money like every single year or it compounds like every month or every 3 months or something like that. It's done for a one time to figure out how much you made. We have APR and APY. APR stands for annual percentage rate. And APR stands for annual percentage yield. So annual percentage rate would be the amount, like the interest rate that you're being charged every single time. The yield would be how much you're making every time that interest is compounded. Let's take a look at an example here. Or a couple examples, I should say. We've got two. The first one says that a credit card company charges a finance charge or interest of 1.5% per month on an average daily balance of the account. If the average daily balance on the account is $157.48, what is the finance charge for the month? So if you have 1.5%, that's the same thing as 1.5%. How would we write that as a decimal? So 0.015. We're going to take that times the $157.48 because that's how much they had on that daily basis there. So if we multiply that, 0.015 times 157.48, we get 2.3622. How would you round that? $2.36 would be the finance charge. All right, this last one here, this is using that I equals PRT equation. So $1,250 is invested for 6 months at an interest rate of 8.5% per year. Find the simple interest earned and use that simple interest formula. So we're using that I equals PRT. What's the principal amount? How much are they putting in? $1,250. What's the rate? 8.5%. So write it as a decimal. It would say what? 0.085. Now if it's 6 months, how much of a year is 6 months? Half. So 6 months here, if we think about a year, it would be 0.5. So don't put in 6 because that would think that it's doing 6 years. And so you get a way too big of a number. So we do 0.5 for half a year. Okay, so we go ahead and multiply 1,250 times 0.085 times 0.5. That gives us 53.125. So how would you round it? $53.13. So that's how much they made with that money just sitting in that account for 6 months, not touching it, not doing anything to it. They just put that money in the account and let it accrue that interest.